So,
And as far as the bullpen's concerned, what do you think about the bullpen?
well, in my feeble opinion, right, the bullpen has two high leverage guys that they can count on. Obviously,
Mhm.
Devin Williams. And, granted, he had a back injury last year. So I was looking at the number of innings that he pitched, right? He only threw 21 innings last year, threw 58 and 23, 60 and 22, which was his career high, and 54 in 21. So I decided to look at what the Yankees did with Clay Holmes as their closer. Clay Holmes threw 63 innings in each of the three seasons, 22, 23, and 24, which is more than any career number that Devin Williams has ever thrown. I find that relatively interesting, that the Yankee closers have thrown more innings than Devin Williams. Now, granted, he wasn't even a closer, right? In 22, wasn't that Josh
Mhm.
Hader? So,
Yeah.
and he threw 60 innings, and that was his career high. Then he threw 58, and then he had a back issue. So we'll see if that goes. And he had an awful playoffs because he was tipping his pitches against the Mets. So hopefully they can fix that. But the Yankees have a way of fixing relievers, and
But
he's a high
that's
end.
been my
He's,
point.
he's a
That
top five closer, if not a top three closer in baseball, right? Behind Class A, and then there's him. Maybe Hader is behind him even. So I mean, he's a top of the line closer. You can't really, you have to count on him and hope he doesn't get injured, and hopefully he can handle a workload. The other guy is Weaver. Now,
Mhm.
granted, he had a career year. Also, not a young guy. He's going to be 31 in August. But his years as a bullpen pitcher were his best years, right?
Mhm.
In 22, he was with Arizona and Kansas City, and he only threw 35 innings in the majors. But that was his best year before last year, and he threw 84 innings last year. I would see his innings going down this year, actually, because he started out as a sixth, seventh inning guy for the Yankees last year, and he was pitching 2 innings and a pop. I think he's going to be more a eighth inning guy for the Yankees, and maybe a little bit into the seventh if they need him to pitch more than an inning. So I think his innings are actually going to drop this year. But he had the highest K rate of his career at 1104. Um, he had a drop in his walk rate to a career low, near career low. Um, so I think Weaver is, as much as I'm scared he might have been a one year wonder, I actually have more confidence in looking at his career as I did over the last couple of days than I did, and I'd been saying over the last few shows we've had. I think they can count on Weaver to be a very good setup man. Um, Not a problem whatsoever. And those are the two guys I think they can count on.
Yeah.
And now,
What
what are the
about
other guys that
Diaz?
are high leverage guys? Well, one of them has an option and is already hurt during his physical, and that's Jake Cousins. He's also not young. He's 31 in July, but he does have an option. So if they need to bury him, they can. He's never pitched more than 38 innings in this season. And his strikeout rate was outrageous last year at 12 and a half. But that's still way below his minor league number, which was at 14, which is unbelievable that he had, a 12 and a half strikeout per nine rate. His walk rate jumped massively, though, to 5.66 per nine innings. That's way too high. Sorry, that's his major league career average is 5.66, 4.74 walk rate per nine in 24. And his home run rate jumped in 24 also, which means when they hit his pitching as a right-handed reliever in Yankee Stadium who comes from the Jeff Nelson angle, he's going to be a guy that's going to allow home runs at Yankee Stadium. But he's hurt. What a surprise.
What a surprise!
And then
And
the other
again, how
guy,
do these guys get hurt in advance what are they doing, and why do we not know about it a month ago? Why do
well,
we
you
hear
could be
about
like
it when
Scott
they come in?
Efros and have surgery in December and not tell anybody.
They
And
do
then, of
this all
course,
the
you
time.
have,
I'd love to ask Joe Ostie what he thinks about the Yankees' tendency not to tell us about these injured guys who come in broken. Like, what are they? What, they have 6 months to get in shape. What the hell is wrong with these guys
well,
if they're not healthy after 6 months?
and then you got Mr. Injury himself, who's got wow stuff and a crazy injury history with
Who
no
is it?
options, so he'll be on the team. Jonathan Loizaga.
Johnny Lasagna. Johnny Lasagna.
So
Gotta love
Johnny
him.
Lasagna in 21 threw 70 innings. In
Mm-hmm.
22, 48 because he got hurt.
Wow.
23, 17 innings because he got hurt. 24, 4 innings because he got hurt.
Wow, what a terrible career.
And
What a waste.
one of the ways you know he's getting hurt is every time he gets hurt, right before he gets hurt, his K rate drops. I was looking at his game logs. right before he gets hurt, his strikeout rate goes way in the tank.
Interesting.
So it goes to show at least he's trying to pitch with a hurt arm. So you got to give him credit for that. But you got to also remember when they tried to put him in the closer's role, he couldn't handle it mentally. But he's on the team because he's got no options left. At least he's only signed for a year. Then another guy who I do believe was a one-hit wonder and is nothing more than a middle reliever, but does have an option left, is also 30 years old, is Ian Hamilton.
Mm-hmm.
He threw 58 innings in 23 and only 37 innings last year because he got hurt. His K rate dropped by a strikeout per 9. His hits per 9 went up by 2 hits per 9. And his inherited runners scored went way up last year. And his walk rate went down. So we'll see what happens. But I don't think he's a high leverage guy. I think he's a 6th inning guy, and you got to hope he has it. And then the best hope for the next high leverage guy is a guy we both love, and we're hoping Blake can fix him. And that's the 35-year-old Fernando Cruz.
I love this guy.
I love him too. 22. This is amazing because he didn't get to the majors till 22, right?
Mm-hmm.
He didn't get to the minors, even though he was drafted in 2007. He didn't get to the minors till 2011. But in 22, his strikeout rate was 12.89 per 9 in the majors. 23 was 13.36 per 9. Last year it was 14.72 per 9. It goes up and up and up. It's only going up. Of course,
And it's the cutter. Is it the cutter or the splitter? Which is
it's a splitter. It's a fastball. He's also every season his walk rate has been okay. Last year was up a little to 4.73, but he's generally around 4.5 walks per 9, which is 1 every 2 innings. Mm-hmm. So, he does walk guys, and he allows home runs, which is kind of scary. Mm-hmm. But he played in Cincinnati, which is a smaller park than Yankee Stadium. If Blake can make him what we think Blake can do, he's thrown 66 innings in 23 and 66 innings in 24. If he becomes the 7th inning guy, Weaver the 8th, Williams the 9th, they've got a pen that would be unhittable. Cruz is the key to the pen, I think. The other guy that's important and also has no options is Tim Hill. Obviously, coming back as a lefty. The only lefty, as Kramer likes to say. Lots of grounders in 67 innings. He threw his best 44 innings of his career for the Yankees last year, though. He has an extremely low strikeout rate and an extremely low walk rate. The question is, was the 44 innings with the Yankees an aberration, or is he actually somebody that Blake worked his magic on? But he's on the team because he's got no options. What do you think the odds of Tim Hill being as good this year as last year?
I don't think it's humanly possible. Then again, he came in late, so he's terrible with the White Sox. Came in with them.
Well, everybody was terrible with the White Sox.
So, that's just it. And, you got a new life. So I think that's, it's entirely possible that he's going to be a lot better than we thought. Than he was last year for a significant time frame. Right. Maybe we can see this for a while. Who knows? But it's the likelihood is not good that he'll be able to recreate it. And you know what? At this price point, all right, so be it.
Yeah, he's at $2 million or whatever it is.
It's bad. Goodbye. He's on a 1 year they give him a 1 year with an option. What's the deal?
It's a 1 year, I believe.
1 year. Good. Do the 1 year and then move on. And
Hill's contract, just so you know, Hill's contract is $2.5 million for this year with a club option for $2.85 next year. Mm-hmm. It's got a $350,000 buyout. Yeah. So, gotta like that. So, the other guy with no options that's going to be on the team is Mark Leiter Jr. He's going to be 34 in March.
Yeah, I don't know. I let's just see if he's the playoff version or he's or if it's the season version, because he did not look good when he came.
Well,
over.
It was an off year in 24 for him, but his K rate was higher than it's ever been at 13.34, and his walk to strikeout ratio is fantastic, and he's consistently throwing 60 innings every year for the last 4 years.
Yeah.
So from that standpoint, you know what you're getting. The problem is, it's, not wonderful, right? It is what it is. But he's going to be on the team. Hill's going to be on the team. They have no options. Not Beater. JT Brubaker's got to be on the team. Gomez has to be on the team. I mean, that's 4 or 5 relievers right there that have to be on the team because they have no options.
Yep.
The other guys with options are Scott Efros, who is fantastic when he got to the Yankees, and we haven't really seen him. And last year, did you know he threw 35 innings last year in AAA and was very effective?
But they didn't bring him
I
up.
didn't know he threw that many innings last
He
year.
did, and they didn't bring him up. They kept leaving him down. I kept
Yeah.
saying, why is he even coming
He's
up?
got a hugely high ground ball rate. I was just very surprised.
I'm optimistic. I think he's healthy. If he's healthy, we could actually enjoy this guy.
Yeah, if he's healthy, I think he's also another guy with the Jeff Nelson arm angle.
There it is.
So I mean, he's similar to Cousins in that sense. He doesn't strike out as many guys as Cousins.
There it is. All right, my friend. It is 8:00. We are.
No. Do you have anybody else you want to talk about?
No, I'm good. I'm good.
Tyler Metzik is signed, and he's been out for a year.
Oh, that's going to be fun.
So the Yankees have a lot of risk involved, and they seem to have some bullpen depth.
All right.
Hopefully it works
we'll
out.
See how that goes next week. We'll talk more about the details of spring training. Next week, they'll all have reported. They'll be working out. They'll be almost ready to start games.